Alright, so this is the second video on orbits, and we'll just pick up where we left off. So in this picture where I was just drawing what would it look like if something that was going the right speed to be in a normal stable orbit were to speed up. We would see that this distance in between the ground, the Earth, and the object is increasing as time goes on. Right, and that's because the object's now moving so fast that the Earth curves out a lot in that distance that it travels. But it travels that distance very quickly now because it's moving so fast, so it only drops a certain, this set amount. So the Earth is actually curving out from under the object faster than the object is dropping. And that can do a couple different things, right? You could have something that's going in a normal orbit, you speed it up, right, and then that distance starts to increase. And you might just change the shape of its orbit. It might just get a weird orbit. You can also launch it so much that it just leaves orbit altogether. And it just goes out of the reach of the force of gravity that planet can exert, or that star or whatever, because that distance is increasing. One really important thing to remember, though, in all these orbits is that the whole time the object is falling, and it's falling towards the center of the Earth the whole time. So let's think about some other things that are always falling the whole time. So if I take an elevator and then someone cuts the cable and I'm in this elevator, I'm carrying a little apple and I let go of my apple. Now I'm going to fall, the apple's going to fall, and the elevator's going to fall. But we're all going to fall at the same rate. So we're going to have the same acceleration due to gravity. So in the next time step, the elevator will be down here, right, because the elevator fell. But I'm going to fall at the same rate. So I'm going to be right here. My apple is going to fall at the same rate, so it's going to be here. And next time step, same thing. I'm going to fall a certain amount, right, the same amount that the elevator does, and so is my apple. So from my perspective, the apple is at the same height the whole time. The apple never fell to me, right? I can't tell that the apple is dropping because I'm dropping and the elevator is dropping with it. So to me, it looks like the apple is floating, when really the apple is really dropping. But I can't tell, right? Because my eyes, I see the apple at the same place each time, because the apple falls and I fall and the elevator falls, so I can't even tell. Now someone who's standing out here will see, right? They can see that the apple is falling. But from my perspective, it kind of floats there. So this is called free fall. That's when you're just kind of falling in from the force of gravity from something kind of unimpeded. And we can see that in this free fall, the person and objects will experience weightlessness, right? So if I put a scale here, how much would the person weigh? Well, the scale's moving down and the person's moving down, right? So it's as though the scale is running away from the person's feet, and the person can never really push down on the scale. And it's true, because the scale is accelerating downward as well, you're not going to be able to, your mass is not going to be able to push down on that scale because of the pull of gravity. So it's called weightlessness. And now the same thing can be said about, if you think about a spaceship in orbit. So if I have this space shuttle, it's orbiting. The people inside will experience weightlessness because they're dropping the whole time. They're dropping, but the space shuttle is dropping as well. And the space shuttle doesn't hit the ground, so everything that they see will be just like the elevator. Things will float, they'll be weightless, but there still is a pull from gravity on them.